was a little underwhelmed, but I still talk about it though. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Scotty, and I'm here for my review of I Love New York Reunited. Okay, like, I'm gonna tell you just like this. I was very much excited about the reunion of this show because of the simple fact that this was a very popular show back in 2007 when I graduated from high school, and it was like one of the best shows ever. Okay, like, y'all know I love me some Flavor of Love, and when New York got her own show, because I was a big fan of New York, I was so happy to see that. And I watched both seasons of I Love New York and all of that stuff, so I really expected a lot from this reunion. But when I watched the reunion, everything that I expected was pretty much diminished because it really didn't give me anything. But however, I got a few notes written down and we're going to talk about it, so here we go. So of course, Vivica Fox is the one to host the reunion. They're social distancing. Everybody's 6 feet away. If they're not on the stage, they will be doing it from, from a viral standpoint. Not a viral standpoint, but from a virtual standpoint. We are introduced to New York. She looks great, actually. She looks like she's very happy. She's grown over the years. Her her fashion, her makeup, her weave, all of that is much better than what it used to be, child. And it's just good to see New York. Y'all already know that she's the queen of reality TV. We all be giving Nene and all these other girls their crowns, but but New York is really the real queen of reality TV. She made this shit possible for you to be over the top and be polarizing and still be loved, okay? Things first, Vivica Fox asks New York if she's still with TaylorMade, and she is no longer with TaylorMade, as we already know, because if I'm not mistaken, because you do know that also, besides I Love New York had other reality shows. I think there was New York Goes to Work, New York Goes to Hollywood, and I think there was a New York Goes Wild show, and I watched all of them, okay? And I think that she broke up with TaylorMade during an episode of New York Goes to Hollywood, I believe. So yeah. The big question is she still in contact with Flavor Flav? Because we already know that was her love child, baby. That was her angel of mine, okay? She loved her some Flavor Flav. She was going crazy over Flavor Flav. All she wanted was Flavor Flav, but Flavor Flav didn't give her the time of day. And listen, he should be glad that somebody loved his ass like New York did. But she said that they don't keep in contact, but when they see each other in passing, it's all love, and that's really all that matters. Sometimes, when you no longer with the person, it's best, y'all don't have to be cool like that, but when y'all see each other, it's always love. So shout outs to New York and Flavor Flav for being cordial after all these years. And we already know that the two finalists that she had on season 1 was Chance and was it season 1? Yeah, it was season 1. Chance and Tango. She was stuck between what her heart wanted and what her heart actually needed. And Chance was what her heart wanted, but in her eyes, Tango was what she actually needed, and that's why she went with Tango. But if you guys knew me back then, I was always Team Chance. I was never Team Tango. Never liked Tango. Period. So then, Sister Patterson comes out. She looked like she gained a little bit of weight, but she looks good, though. I think her and New York has really stepped it up with the makeup and the hair, because back in the day, when you go back and look at it, damn, they wasn't all that with that cheap ass hair and makeup that they used to wear. Child, it just wasn't cutting it, but that was the shit back then, though. But Sister Patterson speaks on New York's new man, because obviously New York has a new man in her life, and Sister Patterson don't like nobody, but she actually loves this man, and she thinks that he's the right man for Tiffany, so that's a great thing. The first person that New York reunites with is Mr. Boston. As annoying as he was very much so loving and lovable and likable, and all we could remember him for is those lap dances with that thong and that fucking wrench dressing, okay? It was good seeing Mr. Boston. He looks the exact same way he did when he was on the show, okay? So he is not aging at all. He's aging gracefully, to be quite honest. They brought up the fact that he dated Pumpkin after the show, and he said that he's no longer dating Pumpkin anymore. And it is what it is. He dated her arch enemy, and that was just real foul. thought they were real powerful. He felt like, you know, I'm single. I can do whatever I want to do. I can date whoever I please. And if it's punkin', then it's punkin'. You know what I mean? But, it was cool seeing Mr. Boston, honestly. Like, out of all of the guys, when they said some guys would be returning for a reunion, I'm like, okay, we already know. We probably already know who are the most memorable people that they were asked to come back. And I knew that Mr. Boston would be one. So, he did say that I think he did say that did he say he was single or was he in a relationship? I don't remember, but I know he is still in real estate, I believe, and he's still doing his thing. So, shout outs to Mr. Boston. So, New York reunites with White Boy, but he's there virtually, okay? And now, you know, he got a new look. He ain't got this short haircut with the chin strap. He got dreads in his head looking like a little J. Cole. Really, really loved White Boy. It's just the fact that he was like freshly out of a relationship and she just did not want to be anybody's rebound. And to be quite honest, that's not a fun thing to be. Like, I would never want to be anybody's rebound ever in life. And it is what it is, child. But you know, they still are cool with each other. And even White Boy even got a Pepsi commercial. And I didn't even know he had a Pepsi commercial. So okay, White Boy doing your thug thizzle. Now they trying to say that Sister Patterson and White Boy had an entanglement. And I'm just like, girl, did you really have an entanglement with fucking White Boy now? Come on now, Miss Pat. Come on now, Sister Patterson. But they said nothing happened. All he did was come and visit her and they was chilling out, but there's a picture of her sitting on White Boy's lap. So I don't know how true that is, but New York said that it was an entanglement, but they both denied anything. New York and Taylor Made, they reunite and they start discussing their breakup. Now, we already know that on the last season of I Love New York, Taylor Made was the man that she chose. And I used to hate Taylor Made, child. I did not like him. Oh my God, I did not like him. And I was so here for Buddha headbutting his stupid ass. I could not stand Taylor Made. Oh my God, he was messy. He spit on Mr. Wise. I could not stand him. I wanted Mr. Wise to beat his ass, like real talk. Because when you spit on me, that's another motherfucking story. However, they talked about their relationship and what made it fail. New York admitted that her attitude was the reason. The distance was the reason. He stayed in New York while New York was in LA filming New York Goes to Hollywood, and it became a strain on their relationship and they both did things wrong. Even though Taylor Made is taking responsibility for his part in their relationship failing, New York doesn't want him to take any responsibility because she knows that it was all her. So there's a lot of growth going on with New York, and I can really see that. So shout out to New York for just being a grown ass woman and just simply saying it was my fault. You know what I mean? Blame it on me. It's all my fault because I know what I did. You was the best man to me. And I really feel like New York kind of regrets that she let him go. But at this point, Taylor Made is in a relationship right now. He's doing well for himself. Still successful, still doing his thing. And I do believe that although I did not like Taylor Made at all when he was on I Love New York, I do think that he was a good catch for New York. And I did think that he would have treated her right. So that's what I can say about Taylor Made. I love New York. The Entertainer in New York reunite. And honestly, y'all, I used to love me some The Entertainer. I really did. I loved him and that damn basement that he lived in. I really did because I fucks with The Entertainer. You know, I don't really too much care for too many white guys like that. But The Entertainer was fine as fuck to me. He really was. And I thought that he was funny and all of that shit. So, you know, it is what it is with that. I like The Entertainer. If I'm not mistaken, at one point, The Entertainer had his own reality show at one point. Just like Real and Chance did. I think The Entertainer had the Entertainer a Love show. And I think I even watched it at one point in time. I think he had his own reality show. But come to find out, his father passed away a couple of years back. And they had like a moment of silence for him. And he was just he was glad that he was able to share the experience that he had with I Love New York with his father. So, condolences to the Entertainer's father. But it's when we talk about life after that, it's time to talk about his love life now. Back in 2012 or 13, the Entertainer said that he got married, but now he's separated and he's back in the basement at his mama's house. But it really doesn't matter at this point because his mama lives alone and his father is gone, so he's free to be in the basement, to be quite honest. But it's good to see the Entertainer, and he's aging gracefully as well. A lot of them are aging gracefully, for real, for real. They all look great. So New York and Tango, they reunite, and Tango was somebody else I could not stand. And if you know why I couldn't stand him, y'all already know what team was on. I was Team Chance all the way. Team Chance all the way. And couldn't nobody tell me nothing. I was Team Chance all the fucking way. After they reunite, they talk about their split and everything that happened with that and how he dumped her on a reunion show. And Tango said that there was a lot of things that he saw that he did not like in regards to Tiffany talking about his mom. And Tiffany straight up denied that she said anything about Tango's mother. And I'm like, girl, you did. It's on camera. You said that his mama was like a brick wall and big. You did say that about his weight. Now, whether you remember it or not, it was said. You did say that shit. I don't know how you didn't remember that. But that was the main reason why he broke up with you in the first place, New York. So, I don't know. That was kind of flawed. Because you did say that shit. But you know, Tango also said that years later he felt like that was the wrong thing to do. He should have never broke up with her like that. And it should have went that it should have went another way. And I totally agree that it should have went another way. But however, you know, we all make mistakes and we all figure out ways to do things in another light, but it is what it is, child. We all make mistakes sometimes, and that was just his mistake, and I'm glad that he was man enough to apologize and accept his wrongdoing. However, Tango is happily involved, and he's moved on with his life, and he looks good with that beard. I will say that Tango looks better now than he did back then. I will say that. I am so disappointed that Chance was not here. How you gonna do a I Love New York Reunited special and not have Chance there? Like, you can't do a I Love New York special without Chance. Chance was a big factor in this show. He was like one of the anchors of this show. He was everything. When you think about I Love New York, you definitely think about Chance. And I just cannot believe that he opted not to be there. I think that sucks. And I think that he should have done better by New York by actually, you know, coming to this shit and just repping it for her and doing his thing, because that was really, really messed up that he didn't come. He could have been virtual at the very least, but then again, you know, he got to talk about his brother's death, and maybe at the same time it probably was a difficult thing for him to come up here and be at the reunion, and something that he shared with his late brother. And you know what I mean? It may be hard for him to discuss that. So we all have to take into account exactly what he may be dealing with in regards to that situation, because you never know. He probably been dealing with a lot in regards to his brother, and you know, it's fucked up. You know, he died of colon cancer. You know, not only did they do I Love New York with each other, but they also did their own show together. So it may be a hard thing for him to do, to come on this reunion without his brother. That could be a part of it. But I'm still very disappointed that I didn't see him. Now, New York did reveal that her and Chance hooked up a couple of nights. And duh. Are we surprised? So when Real's death was addressed, that shit really made me sad, because Real was one of the most realest people on reality TV. He was very beautiful. It was a beautiful man. And he was just a good person. You could tell that he was a very good person, honestly. And I remember when he died like 5 years ago, I was headed to the Gulf Coast for a birthday trip. And I look on Twitter and they were saying that he was dead. And that shit hurt me. Baby, that shit hurt me when he did that. Okay, that, like, not when he did that, when he died. Like, that fucked me up. And I know a lot of the guys that was up there, they all said that they all had a relationship with Real and they loved Real. Tango voiced his opinions on the situation. He talked about his own friendship with Real, how they would leave each other notes after every elimination. Real always wanted Tango and Chance to get their relationship on one accord. He wanted them to bury the hatchet. And you know, Tango was disappointed that Chance wasn't there, because he wanted to hash things out with him. And I'm just like, y'all still beefing after all this time? Ciao. But Mr. Boston said that Chance was a coward for not showing, and I'm like. So New York convinced the producers to allow Million to come on the show. And the only thing that I remember from Million was he was cute. That's number one. Number two, him and Buddha got into it, because Buddha was defending Pretty, I believe. And he was going off on him at the reunion show. They got into it at the reunion show, I believe. That's the only thing I can remember. But apparently he went to jail after being falsely accused of, was it first degree murder, and he had to spend 6 years in jail until they finally let him out because he was actually innocent. And they tried to do a settlement. The city of San Francisco tried to do a settlement of $2 million, but million wasn't going. $2 million wasn't enough. Like, I spent 6 years of my life for no reason in prison for something that I did not do. And he won the settlement, and they gave him $13.1 million. And now that he's doing that, he's into acting. The film that he was in won a Sundance Award, and not only that, he's a pillar of his community, doing things to help young people in the San Francisco area. So that was one of the best things that I heard on this show, the best stories I heard. And I want to first of all thank New York for bringing Million on, but I'm also glad that Million came on and told his own story. So shout out to Million for that. And to close the show, Mr. Boston gave one of his legendary offbeat lap dances, and that shit was funny, but he had to do it safely because we going through COVID-19, so he had to do it safely, but it was still fun. But all in all, this was very underwhelming. It wasn't all that great to me, because you mean to tell me that all you could get for the show is White Boy, The Entertainer, Tango, and Mr. Boston? That's all you could get. Like, where's Punk? Where's Buddha? We already know why. We already know that Chance wasn't here. It's a lot of... Where's 20 Pack? Where's the dude that said he had a big D? You know what I mean? It was a lot of guys that made their mark on this show that I wanted to see, and it was very disappointing, and that's what made it underwhelming. However, New York does look good, though. I will say that, and I do appreciate the ones that were there. But this reunion was a bit... I wasn't feeling it at all. But, however, this be your boy Scotty. This is my review. Be sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you can, donate to my podcast fundraiser. Me and Jamar are doing a podcast. Jamar set up a GoFundMe for you guys to donate to the podcast. Fundraiser. Our goal is $1,200. We have now raised up $705 so far, so we're almost at our goal. So if you can, make sure you help us out with that. With that being said, you guys, I'm out here until my next video. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.